The Bicycle Frame Builder's Apprentice, Chapter 6. New Year's Day dawned bright and clear, although young Rosie Ackroyd remained oblivious to the fact. Tired out by the previous night's proceedings, she lay curled up under her duvet, her long dark hair forming a fan against the white linen pillow, fast asleep. However, Jed and Ralph were, as usual, up early. The cows had to be milked, and the fact it was a bank holiday had escaped the bovines' attention. Connie had risen not too long after her father and brother, although, apart from checking for newly laid eggs in the henhouse, she had no serious farm duties to fulfill. She was, however, expecting a special visitor. The phone call she had received the previous evening, only part of which she had revealed to friends and family, had been from Malc. He had informed her, amongst other matters, to expect a well-known rambler who would be delivering something of interest to her. In the meantime, she decided to ask her mother if she needed any help with her domestic duties. Jed and Ralph returned to the warmth of the farm kitchen for breakfast just after 7:45. Once they'd warmed themselves at the fire and taken their places at the table, Connie went into action, ferrying food from her mother to them as and when required. She decided not to indulge in eating until Rosie had come back to life, but Ralph couldn't help noticing her green eyes seemed to keep darting towards the window and the yard beyond it. He decided she must be expecting Mikey. By 8:30, Jed had taken possession of his armchair in front of the fire. Titch sprawled at his feet. Within another 5 minutes, the farmer was snoring softly. Ralph had disappeared into his workshop, and Connie had departed to the bedroom to awake the slumbering Rosie. A knock on the kitchen door summoned Elsie from her brief respite at the kitchen table. She quickly crossed the floor, wondering who it could be so early in the morning. "Benny Rothman, and is that you, Lily? Happy New Year! What are you two doing here so early? Come in, come in. There's tea in the pot. Have you had breakfast?" Benny grinned his impish grin. "We've had food, but hot tea won't go amiss. It's a cold day." "Well, don't just stand there. Sit here, Lily. Make yourself comfortable. Young Rosie's with us. She'll be really pleased to see the both of you." Man and wife took their indicated places at the table. "Benny's treating me to a meal at the Nag's Head later," Lily informed her, "after we've been for a walk. But it's your Connie Benny's come to see." Elsie looked up from pouring the tea. "Our Connie? Why, Benny?" "Malc sent something for her." Elsie passed the cups of tea over, but before she could enquire further, Connie and Rosie emerged into the room. The eyes of both widened and big smiles illuminated their faces as they espied their visitors. As soon as the initial greetings were over, Connie decided it was time to get down to business. "Did Malc send the wheel parts?" "Yes, he's asked me to pick them up a week on Sunday. Is that all right?" "Yes, I'll make a start today." Benny shook his head. "No, it's a bank holiday. Malc insists you enjoy it. He said you should be able to complete 2 wheels in a night, so there's no rush. He only wants 3 pairs. Anyway, Elsa and me thought you and Rosie might want to come for a walk this morning. There's a frost. The ground will be nice and hard on the tops." "What's going on?" Rosie wanted to know, intrigued at the talk of wheels, to say the least. "Malc needs to build some bike wheels, so he's asked me to lace them." "Lace them? What does that mean?" Connie laughed. "I'll show you later. He gave me an illustrated pamphlet when I was in Manchester, explaining how to build a bicycle wheel. Placing the spokes in position is called lacing." "Come on," Benny said, rising from his seat. "They're in the back of the car." Both girls followed him, as did a curious Titch. Ralph emerged from his workshop as they crossed the yard. He greeted the elderly couple, and after some brief chit-chat, disappeared into the farmhouse. The car was parked on the track behind the cattle buyer. Benny opened the rear passenger door, bent inwards, and began to pull out a large cardboard box, which he placed on the ground. It contained boxes of stainless steel spokes in various lengths a box of nipples, rim tapes, and 4 front and 4 rear hubs, complete with quick release levers, along with a spoke key. Connie frowned. She thought Benny had said 3 pairs of wheels were needed. Again Benny leaned into the vehicle, emerging with 4 pairs of aluminium rims. Before Connie could query the quantity, he closed the car door, and then positioned himself at the motor's rear and opened the boot. "What do you think of this?" he asked. Connie took her position by his side. "Oh, it's beautiful." Benny chuckled. "It certainly is. The youngster he's put it together for is a very lucky person, I reckon. Still, it's only my humble role to deliver it." Connie gazed at the machine, and even her relatively untutored eyes could see it was a work of art, as well as a product of craftsmanship. "Where'd you have to take it, Benny?" He rubbed his chin, rooted in his inside jacket pocket, and extracted a rather grubby piece of paper. He held it up, peering at it, as though he needed spectacles, his brow puckered. "I can hardly make this out, but I think it says—" The dimples formed under his cheeks as he finally broke into a smile. "Gartside Farm. Malc says it's yours, young Connie, once you've laced his wheels, and providing you do them right." Connie couldn't believe her ears. "I don't know what to say. It's incredible. It's just so beautiful." Benny laughed. "I think you've already said enough. I'll convey the message to Malc. Now, be careful as you take it out, Connie. You don't want the bars swinging round. It's very lightweight, and they'll dent the top tube if you're not careful." Rosie looked on as Connie carefully extended her arms and leant forwards. She emerged holding a bike frame and forks, complete with all the fittings, with the exception of mudguards and wheels. Benny extracted the mudguards, and Connie finally realized why he brought sufficient components to build 4 pairs of wheels. "Can you carry these?" he asked Rosie. "I'll get the box and the rims." Once they'd returned to the kitchen, Benny suddenly remembered something. "Connie, can you go back to the car? There's a wheel-building jig on the floor, behind the front passenger seat." "A jig? I thought Malc only wanted the wheels lacing." "You'll need it to build your own wheels. He says you can have it on permanent loan. He's got another." She passed the bike over to a bemused Ralph, instructing him not to allow the handlebars to swing under any circumstances if he valued his life.